This first finding was made by hiker James Rankin. In early October of 2016, James had been hiking Jackson County Park when he came across an old campsite. But disturbingly, all around the campsite were multiple different missing person posters taped onto trees. The posters themselves were completely real, featuring real missing people across different states. Upon his discovery, James would quickly start recording. We're deep in the woods, sort of we're like on the border. Cause like there's a side of the woods where there's people's houses. But I came to a trail to lead to a trail up the hill. But I saw what looked like a fire pit. And remember, we're still in the woods, right? I don't know what this is. Do you see the trees? Little white okay. I was like, okay, these are probably no trespassing signs. Or maybe it's something for the wildlife or something. Look what these are. What the is going on in here? This is Utah, Florida. They're all different, every single one. This one's from Georgia. And look at it, like look where we are. Who does something like this? We got this one, and it's obviously these. You could tell these aren't new. Like not just that, this is 2012 Noblesville, Indiana. Right, look at the tape. Look at the water damage. It's been hanging up for a while. Let me just, look at that. And over here in the middle of the fire pit, that's a shovel. James would ultimately report the finding to the police. Though upon further investigation, police would write it as someone's Halloween decorations. James, however, was not satisfied with this investigation. His discovery took place on October 3rd, and according to James, the posters themselves did not look like they were set up recently. Later that same year, James would return to this time be stopped by multiple no trespassing signs. Okay, First of all, I am not violating any of these no trespassing signs. I'm simply not. I came here only to show you and get it on tape and leave from here. We can see down there. That's the clearing. So anyway, what they've done, they printed out their own no trespassing signs. Homemade. I'm assuming these are all legally binding. I have no way of knowing, so I'm not taking any chances. We can see they attached them to the trees with ordinary masking tape. These aren't even laminated. This is posted private property. No trespassing violators will be prosecuted. We've got a one there. One there. Because the police had already closed their investigation. This would pretty much mark the end of the whole situation. In April of 2020, a kid named Noah decided to go camping in the forests of Sun River, Oregon. He was driving down the road when he thought he found a good spot and drove deep into the forest with his trunk. His first night there, he was woken up to sounds outside. As he continued listening, he realized they were footprints, and from the pattern, assumed it was a person. He grabbed his nearby GoPro and started filming. I'm currently sleeping in the back of my truck. Right now, I don't even know what time it is. And there's someone walking around my truck right now. If you can hear that, it's pretty loud. He's been walking around for like 20 minutes already. I don't really know what to do. I'm a little freaked out right now, and it's like pitch black outside. And like this doesn't cause any sense. Somewhere where you can see no one was on the road. Which he's touching my truck. How am I supposed to get him away? Fucking my truck. The canopy, the back doors are in there forever. I don't think he knows there's anyone in here. I'm so scared right now. He's literally peeking through the door right now. Whoever was out there knocks on the truck and tries the door handles, all while Noah sits inside, forced to just listen to it happen. Fortunately, he had his doors locked so no one could get inside. After multiple minutes, footsteps are finally heard leaving. When it got line outside, Noah drove back to the road later that morning. He found handprints all over his trunk, specifically on his back from someone trying to see inside, and a lot on his door handles from someone trying to get inside. Handprints there. Lost scratches, stuff like that. Dragging his finger on my side of my truck. Oh well, looks like to be trying to get inside my truck. That's really all I could tell from when he was walking around. More handprints trying to get in my truck. At least the back canopy was locked, but yeah, that was the result. So for someone to even have been out there in the first place at that time of night is extremely odd, and it couldn't have been a police officer because no one identified themselves. The person didn't even have a light, and this was in the middle of a pitch black forest. No one ever posted an update on the situation, suggesting he never found out who was outside his truck that night. In February of 2013, a few residents of a neighborhood in northern Oregon filed reports of strange noises coming from the forest. The noises were described as what sounded like eerie laughter. It was loud and echoed throughout the nearby area. One of the residents that heard the sound went outside to where they seemed to be coming from and started recording. Some think the noises made by foxes or coyotes, but others don't think so, saying coyotes, for example, have a much more canine-like shriek and aren't nearly as loud. It's still unclear exactly what was making the noise that night. This video was taken by a mountain biker in Vancouver. He'd set up his phone camera to get a shot running down a part of the mountain. Just as he comes down and passes the camera, he suddenly hits the brakes and starts calling out. He then comes back in the frame, walking back up the mountain with his bike. As he does so, he keeps looking back behind him. Walking his path was a bear was now following him. Hey, hey, hey. 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 The kid uses his bike to make himself look bigger. He hits it on the ground a few times, causing the bear to retreat back to the camera. It knocks it over. The bear then stands over the camera for a while longer. Finally, it retreats completely, allowing the kid to retrieve and get back to safety. September 6, 2016, a Reddit linking to a video claims to feature a weird noise from the woods. Included was text that read, "I put the kids to bed tonight and heard this really bizarre sound coming from the woods outside my house. It lasted about 15 to 20 minutes. We have a handful of neighbors nearby, but this was too loud to be coming from them. It seemed to be coming from the direction of a radio tower. But can those towers make noises like this? I Googled around, but couldn't find anything similar." This is the video. Commenters immediately started speculating what the sound could have been. One of them suggested it could have been the sound of passing through a nearby cell tower, the metal on metal being what created the eerie tone. But the poster replied, saying there was almost no wind that night, and even on days when it was windy, he never heard the sound. Another said the sound extremely consistent with what it sounds like to drill into a stride that's made of high carbon steel. It said that it would be weird to be doing into the night. To this day, it's still unknown what the sound in the video actually is. This video features the footage of two dirt bikers riding on a remote path in the forest. Throughout the video, the bikers can be seen going at extreme speeds, but doing this would quickly prove to become almost deadly. As the bikers continued on the path, they were unexpectedly met with a steel cable strung across to trees at perfect neck level. For oncoming bikers at a fast enough speed, this trap no doubt take the lives of anyone that didn't see it. Fortunately, however, the biker in the front was able to react quick enough to avoid it. The bikers would actually debate whether or not to stay for the person who set up the trap come back, but they would end up deciding against this. It's still unknown who's responsible. This video was captured on an early morning in the middle of December. It takes place in Canada and features some disturbing noise echoing throughout the forest. It's not clear what the noise is. Many frequent hunters would report to have never heard even remotely similar. Oh, that is scary shit. Wow. What the one comment suggested, the noise could have been a wolf that was either trapped or left behind by its pack. It's also possible it was another animal, such as an elk or possibly a bull moose, although none of these theories have been confirmed. YouTube user Rainy would upload this video to YouTube in 2013. The video's footage is from multiple security cameras set up around his house, which was in an isolated area of the Rocky Mountains. The whole idea behind was to capture the footage of the different wildlife around his property to then upload to YouTube. But on September 13th, the cameras around his house would catch something completely out of the ordinary. You can see as a woman walks out from the complete darkness of the woods. Some believe the woman was lost or that her car had broken down nearby, but that doesn't explain her general careless mannerism as she aimlessly walks around the property. And a while later, the woman walking right back into the forest. After that night, the house owner would never see this woman again. Back in 2013, a man named Phil would upload this video to his YouTube channel. The video features Phil out late at night in his neighborhood located in Mission, Oregon. Phil claimed to have heard strange noises outside his neighborhood only a few minutes prior, which is why he was outside in the first place. Once he reached the nearby forest, that was only around 200 feet from his house, he would again hear the noises. And this is where he started recording. January 21st, about 11 p.m. I'm a couple hundred feet from my house, and you hear it going off in the background right now. Kind of sounds weird. Kind of sounds dogish, hyenish. I mean, that almost sounds like laughter. It's actually gotten closer since it started. It's probably with me. 200 feet, 300 feet from me right now. The recording of noises continued for a while longer, until the sounds of gunshots can be echoing from the forest. I think that was a gunshot. Multiple people in the community itself have claimed to have been hearing similar noises for the last 2 months leading up to the recording. But just what exactly was making the noises is still unclear. Mark Andre, who devoted his career to the vast woods of Northern California. He worked as his town's environmental service director, so it was quite literally his job to spend time in the woods. In February of 2018, he had been tasked with marking trees, and while he was doing so, deep in the woods, he would come across some makeshift cabin, which, considering the extreme remoteness of the area, made the discovery highly abnormal. Mark would, of course, get a closer look at the structure. The thing was only around 8 by 12 feet wide and 15 feet tall. There was a lock on the shack's only entrance, and from the outside, there was no real evidence anyone was there. Still disturbed by the finding, Mark would head back to get professional assistance. The next few days would consist of to contact the owner of the shack, but all of them ultimately failing. So finally, upon revisiting the structure, the men would break open the lock to the front door. They would find a space that was clearly being lived in, or at the very least had been lived in recently. The shack had its own furniture, a pot-bellied stove, a small library, and even a typewriter. Jars and cans of food filled the shelves. However, in spite of all this, the search resulted in no further identification of the actual owner. Because the shack was illegally constructed, the men ultimately had no other choice to leave an eviction notice before leaving. A few days later, the authorities returned to see out the contract, but there was nothing there. The makeshift cabin was completely gone. Whoever the owner was had deconstructed it, with literally the only thing left being an international squatter symbol from charcoal. Many theorized the owner was wanted by authorities, and therefore living completely alone, evading any contact with other people. But whether or not this is even close to true for debate. To this day, the real owner of the shack is still unidentified. Bill Burgess was on an early morning jog on a trail in Provo, Utah, when he thought he saw a baby bobcat on the trail ahead of him. Immediately pulled down his phone and started recording. But it wasn't a bobcat, rather. It was a baby cougar. The video then shows the mother cougar coming into view. Oh, oh. Oh. You. Oh. 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 No, get thee away. Get thee away. Go, go. Go, no. No. Go away. Go away, please. Go away. Oh. Holy. Nice and slow. Come on. Ah. No, Kyle is left in a standoff with the cougar as he slowly backs away, trying to scare it off with loud noises. But the cougar continues to follow him, and at times even lunges at him. At one point, Kyle turns his head away to trip as he's backing up. This prompts the cougar to try getting within only feet of him. Go away. No taste, dude. Try attacking, your eyes look away from you. Dude. No, go away. Go away. No. No. Yeah, get away from me. Face. Encounter lasts for an entire 6 minutes. It ends when Cal throws a large rock, scaring the animals running away. Cougar encounters with hikers are extremely dangerous and can often result in a much worse outcome. Had Kyle tried to run or failed to look and sound intimidating, the animal's instincts to chase would have to an attack. Lisa was sleeping in her van when she woke up to the sound of knocking right next to her ear. It was 4:30 in the morning and someone was outside. She sat there frozen, not knowing what to do. The knock then came again, and this time she uttered out a confused hello. There was no response. It would be completely silent for the next 15 minutes. Eventually, she heard footsteps, and this time grabbed her camera to record. Somebody back here again. I hear footprints. Hello. How can I help you? It's 4:30 in the morning. I don't feel safe. Who are you? There was no response. She quietly got up to the front of her van to look outside. In the distance, there were headlights. The car backs away. She turns the camera to herself and begins explaining what just happened. A few minutes into this, and she hears footsteps again. I hear footprints. Hear that? Yeah, somebody was just here again. 3 times now. The 3rd time I looked out, they were walking on foot. Seen them walking, and they hid behind the hot tree there. And then they went to a car. The same car that was here earlier that was back. And then it backed away and left again. 3 times in one night this time. They didn't knock though. They were just walking around. I could hear them walking around the van. When they got online outside later that morning, she got out of her van and found footprints all around it. So I come out this morning and you can see footprints. Look at this one. This is mine. I'll show you. There's mine. See, they were actually this more. Look at that. They came here. They were standing here. As you can see, a lot of viewers believe the man trying to steal valuables from the van. And why then come back 2 more times after you heard someone talking from inside? It's likely the man had worse intentions.